In January 2025, Los Angeles became a city under siege as relentless wildfires driven by fierce Santa Ana winds swept through the region. Flames consumed vast stretches of land, reducing over 10,000 structures to ash and claiming at least 11 lives. More than 180,000 residents were forced to flee their homes, leaving behind memories and belongings in the face of an uncontrollable inferno. The skies turned a haunting orange, and the air was thick with smoke, suffocating the city with a palpable sense of despair. Amid this chaos, the Trump family was in California for a series of engagements. Barron Trump, now 18 and a freshman at New York University, found himself drawn to the unfolding disaster. What began as curiosity would soon pull him into a web of secrets, danger, and revelation. While President Donald Trump attended a fundraiser in the Los Angeles area, Barron had free time to explore the city. As the wildfires intensified, Barron became captivated by news reports and social media updates detailing the destruction. Areas like Pacific Palisades, known for their multi-million-dollar homes, were reduced to rubble. Historic landmarks, including the Will Rogers Ranch, were consumed by flames. But as most people focused on the sheer scale of devastation, Barron noticed something peculiar. The ignition points of the fires seemed to follow an unusual pattern, almost as if they had been strategically aligned. This odd detail sparked his curiosity, compelling him to dig deeper into available data and reports. Using public information from news outlets and fire department releases, Barron began mapping the ignition sites. As he connected the dots, a chilling realization emerged. The fires followed a trajectory that suggested deliberate intent rather than natural causes. Sharing his findings with his parents, Barron received encouragement tempered with caution. His inquiries to local authorities and fire experts were met with skepticism. Overwhelmed by the crisis, officials dismissed his observations as coincidences or assured him that professionals were handling the situation. But Barron's conviction only grew stronger. Determined to uncover the truth, he decided to investigate on his own, unaware of the dangers that lay ahead. Los Angeles resembled a post-apocalyptic nightmare. Entire neighborhoods were reduced to smoldering ruins, and thick smoke turned daylight into an eerie twilight. Emergency shelters overflowed with displaced families, each with harrowing stories of survival. In Malibu and Calabasas, once symbols of wealth and security, luxury estates were now indistinguishable piles of ash and rubble. Wildlife fled in desperation, seeking refuge in suburban backyards. For many residents, hope seemed lost. Firefighters, exhausted from battling previous blazes, worked tirelessly, their heroic efforts often captured in images of them collapsing from sheer exhaustion. During a visit to an evacuation center in Santa Monica, Barron was deeply moved by the stories he heard. A tearful mother recounted how she had only minutes to grab her children and escape before her home was consumed. A man showed Barron a photo of his prized vintage car collection, now a heap of scorched metal. A firefighter's comment struck a nerve. "It's almost like these fires have a mind of their own. In my 20 years on the job, I've never seen anything like this." These remarks solidified Barron's belief that the wildfires were no mere natural disaster. Barron spent hours combing through online forums and social media, discovering posts from others who had also noticed unusual fire patterns. Theories ranged from arson to corporate sabotage and even forced land acquisitions. One particular post featured drone footage from Pasadena, showing an object falling from the sky moments before a fire ignited. Though grainy, the footage was enough to make Barron's pulse quicken. This was no coincidence. It was deliberate. Barron's investigation consumed him. His hotel room became a makeshift command center, cluttered with maps, screenshots, and hastily scribbled notes. Cross-referencing the footage with news reports, he marked ignition points on his map. Each new dot revealed a deliberate pattern. He traced recent land purchases in affected areas and found a troubling trend. Properties in high-risk zones had been acquired by a handful of corporations just months before the fires. Among these companies, Solvista Holdings stood out. They had purchased properties at inflated prices, a curious move for areas prone to disaster. Barron's suspicions deepened. Seeking guidance, Barron called his sister Ivanka, sharing his findings. Her response was cautious, but supportive. "Barron, this is serious. If you're right, you're dealing with powerful people who don't want to be exposed. Be careful." Fueled by her warning, Barron visited fire-ravaged neighborhoods, documenting anomalies. In one area, trees stood untouched while surrounding homes were destroyed. In another, a concrete wall bore scorch marks on one side, but was pristine on the other. A black SUV lurking nearby added to his unease. Despite the mounting evidence, Barron faced obstacles at every turn. His inquiries to residents revealed unsettling accounts of low-flying drones, unmarked utility trucks, and loud booms before the fires. In Agura Hills, an older man named Jack spoke of Sol Vista Holdings buying properties months before the disaster. In Thousand Oaks, a woman named Elena shared photos of circular burn patterns and a drone hovering over her property. Digging into Sol Vista Holdings, Barron uncovered a web of corruption. The company's CEO, Victor Grayson, had a history of environmental violations and aggressive land redevelopment projects. Emails revealed plans to lobby for relaxed regulations to fast-track rebuilding after fires. The pieces fit together, a deliberate plan to destroy land, drive out residents, and profit from redevelopment. Barron's investigation caught the attention of those he sought to expose. The black SUV reappeared, following him through the city. His hotel room was ransacked, and a chilling note warned him to stop digging. Fearing for his safety, Barron turned to investigative journalist Linda Moreno. Together, they uncovered damning evidence, drone schematics, emails discussing payouts to officials, and plans for Operation Phoenix, a coordinated effort to ignite fires and force land clearance. As Linda prepared to publish her exposé, the threats intensified. Her apartment was ransacked, and she disappeared, leaving behind a warning note. Barron realized the stakes were higher than he imagined. With no one else to trust, he turned to his father. President Trump vowed to help, leveraging his influence to ensure the story reached the public. When the exposé broke, it sent shockwaves across the nation. Sol Vista Holdings and complicit officials were exposed, sparking protests and federal investigations. Victor Grayson fled the country, but the scandal led to sweeping reforms in land acquisition and wildfire prevention. Barron became a reluctant hero, his courage inspiring change. Months later, Barron reflected on the journey that had changed his life. Though he faced threats and scrutiny, he found purpose in advocating for environmental justice. The Los Angeles wildfires were a tragedy, but they also revealed the power of truth and the importance of standing against corruption. Barron's story serves as a reminder that even in the face of overwhelming odds, one person can make a difference. If Barron's story inspired you, consider what actions you can take to make a difference in your own community. And don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to our channel for more stories like this. Your support helps us continue uncovering the truth.